Marc Peard podcast.
Kia ora and welcome along to the Marc Peard podcast. Busy old show this you as well. Thank you all for watching. Make sure you drop us your comments so we can get into it. Don't sniff during the intro. One cold and get it. I like that.
You like that? Yeah.
On the rundown tonight, we have. See what I do?
Big fan of that.
I didn't pay him to do that. Yeah. Gets the Karkariki lights.
Yeah.
Gets the green lights. You know. IRobot. Tuaya. Plus, of course, we've got the fight card results and who's up this week on our fight card. Important part of the show. Let us know how your weather's going wherever you are around the country, around the world. We do have people watching the US, just a couple. Right. And of course, then we'll pull up the Hinaki and say. But without further ado, let me introduce y'all to the rest of the crew. Is a nice way of putting it, yeah. Starting with. Give us some words of wisdom. This is Blake Ashford, former NRL superstar, gracing us with his presence. Give us some of that wisdom that got you.
As I sat there on a cold Sunday afternoon with no jumper, but yes, I did have that head cold. But I thought maybe the grass is greener on the other side.
Yeah.
And tonight, I'm wearing that lovely brown jumper.
That looks like it's still a bit furry on the inside, right?
It is very furry, yes.
Good one, eh?
And I just ripped the tag off.
Bang, bang.
They're getting it done.
Yeah.
They're good.
All right, and of course, Nathan Rarere, good friend. This day in history, so without further ado.
Love this day. When friends of mine and I would go up to Snob's nightclub in Australia, Blake, but Mark will back me up on this. There was a big thing there. You knew that a nightclub was sophisticated. Oh, yes.
Can't go wrong. Yeah. You know the nastiest is going to be there if there's a is in the end of it.
Snobs was...
My mate got his jaw broken in Jupiter's.
Oh, by Mike? Who? Which one? Which bouncer?
No, it wasn't a bouncer.
Oh.
He accidentally... These dudes who were sitting there, knocked it with his ass when he was getting out to get a drink and spilled his beer.
That's you go to Snobs,
Right,
man.
man.
That's what it was all about. And then fighting the... This day in 1991, a fella by the name of Tim Berners-Lee at the CERN Institute of Switzerland. Yeah, fine, use that thing. They went, what does he goes? Call it the World Wide Web. I've got shit to do. And the first day it was debuted. Now that dude, how rich could he be if he put a price on it? But he was like, nah, everyone should be able to use Berners-Lee. The World Wide Web. This show wouldn't exist without him.
We're on it.
Good. What a time.
What a time to be alive. Yeah. Gentlemen, we've dilly-dallied enough. Let's get it. It's fight card time.
Let's get it done.
I tried to squeeze it in there.
Why don't we have t-shirts?
I tried.
I love it. It's growing on me.
Fight card from last week. You guys, you voted in your thousands. It was the weakest NRL mascot. Who's got the... Back to that moment where I introduced you. So I kind of said it to you in a way that this is how or not. What you do is you just try and warn someone, oh no, don't go there. And it like rabbits and outside the door, it's not working. You'll be surprised to know, Nate, because it went against you and I, the trend.
Rooster.
The rooster is the weakest of the NRL.
Bipolar.
There you go.
They kill you.
Mind you, they can't bite, can they? They're picky. They're more picky. Like a rabbit-o might have rabies.
I've always said that.
With their
Two
little
big
kicky.
chompers. Two big chompers.
Yeah.
You guys, man. You guys. All right. You got the fight card.
Yeah, I'm going to step up for this. The fight card weighing in the left corner. This is actually down of 2020. Okay. Now there's been a lot of letdowns as far as the most. Whoa, which became okay. Number one, is it Daniel Carter as a blue?
Oh.
Yeah.
About
like
that.
that.
Oh, look at him, he's kneeling down next to Tyler. Shit, he's going to run under you. And now he's like, is murder hornets. There was things like, oh no, COVID-19, oh my God, murder hornets. And it was this thing, murder hornets. And it was this headline, and you went like, what a name, murder hornets are going to kill us. And basically they were just a new... Got a name as good as murder hornet. You better be out there murdering. A murder hornet. So maybe they had shit.
Are they
cards
big?
as
This
well.
story.
The
The
murder
story must
hornets.
have passed. Yeah,
Oh
must
no,
have
mate,
passed
no.
me.
When we kept getting things like, now we've... It was like, what else could happen?
These
And then
murder
along came a
hornets.
thing called murder hornets.
Mate, that's dangerous.
Yeah.
That sounds way worse
Sounds
than
pretty
COVID.
dangerous. Peard and I actually saw a... what was that thing called? It was like a... hawk scorpion. It was like this... Peard, we're at the Grand Canyon. And
We
this-
had like a, you know, when you were when two dudes get into like almost like a domestic argument, right? I was like, no, Nathan, on it, and that was like, nah, it's just a bloody.
cockroach. There's something like that. So basically, it was on this you know, you look in the telescope, you pay the $2, and you go, yeah. So it looks the same, but close up. What I thought was a cockroach, so I got to flick it off. That, by the way, and I'm like, hey, buddy, it's a cockroach. I'll just flick it off with my finger, and then we found out what it was. It was a something called, but basically, sting of any animal in the world. And it's like this thing flies and lands on and does that as well. And here's me about to go, flick it, it'll be right, don't worry about it.
He was so gangster,
thank
and
you.
I hearing wife, I was like, Nathan, no.
You did.
No. All right, let me read through some of the comments. Obviously, we're already. Did you just groom him?
Yeah, sorry.
It's always on.
Good.
All right, let me read through some of our comments. Aiden's given us the beer. What else we got? Will Miller. Kia ora, Will. Very
Oh,
bit of weather
nuggety.
chat. Hashtag weather chat. Rosie's got the popcorn and the drink. Kia ora, Rosie.
Oh, yeah. I
Aiden?
missed it too, man. That final was
Aiden also tagged in Matt Buck. Hey, Buck. Just chilling out here. Bryce Hosking says, mild day in the valley. Kia ora, Bryce.
Good, Bryce.
Thank you, Rosie. Let's get it. Robbie, let's get it.
Yeah, there we go.
What about the tool? Who are you? We'll be talking about that shortly.
Okay.
I remember Nate on Ice TV growing up as a young tot.
Yeah.
Yes. Nate, perhaps you could give us a Ice TV.
In the mid-90s, when I used to be relevant. And it was with basically two really gorgeous people. And the question that everyone, whether it was one of them was Petra was her name, and for whenever have people was, where's Petra? That was pretty much one of those.
No.
So I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
Team. Like, yeah.
Where's Benji?
Yeah, one of those.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Will Miller votes for DC and the Blues
Right.
as being the biggest disappointment of 2020. Robbie, definitely. Wayne says, the boys. This one's just for you, Blake, because I know the answer is yes. Did you fellas watch Kato's Stags vid?
How was
Yes.
his technique?
Oh, I think he was a bit drunk because you could obviously see the camera,
Yeah.
the toes and stuff.
did
It was
he?
a bit, yeah. It was very short film. Maybe the
It's quite good. There's got to be a fair amount of love for looking at a toe, I reckon.
yeah.
So,
Well, she threw it in there. I don't think he sort of grabbed it. She
oh,
just,
right. A toe. Okay. Oh, well, good on you, Katoni. That's,
yeah, great sword on him though.
Yeah,
great
that's it.
sword.
Okay, good.
Right, let's. We're starting with NATO, and Nate loves Lidecky. about that story. What
Oh
do
my
you
God.
love so much about Lidecky?
So Katie Lidecky, right? And she's been. I'm going to put her right up there as actually being probably the best in her event in the Olympics. I've got was Usain Bolt running 100 meters against other human beings.
Yes.
And Bond against other human beings, right? Remember the second place team got so disheartened. Katie Ledecky would do that, and she would smash people like in the 400. She does a longer one, right? And it's like she released a video this week of a thing of chocolate milk on her head, and she with the chocolate milk. And the thing about that is like that to me, because as someone who did swimming. That is no. For anyone that's ever gone in and tried impressive athletic feat, we'll see on planet Earth this year,
Mate,
because it means that she is exactly perfect and would have fallen over and done it. So that's like the Federer forehand of swimming technique. The Adam Scott, he's got that, and I watched that and I was just like, that is unbelievable.
The thing that I panic, so when I snorkel, I panic and I can't breathe properly.
Yeah.
So I'm not very good at snorkeling. So she snorkeled, the 50 metres with that? Because I would have panicked.
Yeah, because the thing is like, but she's so good at the long distance because exactly the same as the one 26 strokes, 27 strokes down the pool. And anyone that's ever done anything athletically knows that, right, and you lose your technique. That's why she just continues to smash people in the pool, because she's perfect on every stroke, and it look like that. But that's a human doing it. It's unreal.
Okay, because I know you've had a swimming career, quite the swimming career.
No,
back in the days.
Imagine being her. God.
Yeah. Understand how it was such an amazing feat. Like I just figured, she's just swimming with a cup on her head. Like, what do you do, Basil?
Core must be nut strong.
What could have made it better?
She couldn't. Faster. There. No, or just flicked it up like a dog with a treat on its nose. Flick it up, catch it. But that is there won't be a better athletic feat this year. That's incredible.
Whoa, he's called it.
There just won't be.
He's called it. Okay.
Oh man, I'm so excited. First week back NBA. You can't tell me. Is the most excited I've been in so long, because any team can win. The Lakers are looking horrible. The Clippers in games. Yeah. I know they're resting players, but we've got MVP TJ Warren. I know. 38 the next night. We've got your Phoenix Suns.
Who used
They gave them away for cash.
Cut them.
That's just
Don't even need them.
But now we've got Book.
We've got Book. Wet like Book. Just feed Book.
Portland's starting to hit form with Nurkic back. Plus you can go fishing. You can go golf.
Yeah, apparently they'd gone and put extra fish in the lake for them so they could catch it. Because, Paul George is huge into his fishing. Or hauling in these things. I reckon the dead giveaways, you're like, how did a shark get in here? Get it out. There we go.
What is it with the golf? Who's their... Here's what, 10k a hole.
But you're at Disney as well, so you could be like doing chucking the balls at them with its mouth open that goes side to side, but there'd be all of that there.
It's such a sweet setup. And there's a couple NBA doing this and with the NRL as well, is what type of things will they this season, and these learnings of having the groups together in a tournament kind of way, what will they to the future seasons? Do you know what I mean? Like, let's just say COVID disappears next year. What little learnings should they do? Because I think it's great having all the players in the same area at the same time. I mean, it's a lot of alpha dogging.
A lot of the people are scared because they reckon people are going to start teaming up.
How do you mean?
While they're there.
Super teams and stuff like that. Like, you've got people that are out from COVID or their wives giving birth, and that opens the gates for new kids to come in as well.
True.
I love it.
And let's be honest, people. Well, there's a thing called social media. There's a thing called text. If you're gonna talk,
yeah,
people,
but you can trace that. Like, people,
They do too. That's right. Oh,
cover the mouth.
all right, all right,
Oh,
all
you
right,
can't
all right.
tell. You can't tell that they're
I'm not
teaming up
playing
when they
with
do
you.
this.
You
Yeah.
can eat it. I don't know.
He's I'm excited.
No, I like
Okay.
it. I like it because
I
the
reckon
Phoenix Suns are 3. Talking of
It
Paul
was so
George
good.
can't play golf. Jeez,
Damn.
mate. We
I reckon
can't play
the
D,
learning
can
in
we?
all of these, though, is I reckon compressed season. 82 games of 5 or 6 months.
Totally.
But in the end, you're like, why? And it's like,
Yeah.
I think with all being condensed and squished, like that's made it all seem more vital. And it seems like our seasons go forever. And the whole shining light through the entire thing was always the NFL. Everyone's going because the NFL only has a certain amount of games, and you. Yeah, so
Well,
hopefully there's that.
And that's the reason. I'll finish it off like this. The Rockets are going to win the title.
Oh God, please no, James Harden.
I just think that short going to get burnt out. He can
Yeah.
play those minutes. He's
Yeah.
got Westbrook. They're good short seasons.
It's not a
Yeah,
bad
that's
shout.
good.
That's not
That
a
is
bad
not a bad shout. Through the veins.
Oh, the Vicks up the,
The
nose.
Vicks up the
Oh.
nose. You smell like a. Someone's toddler's got a cold and they've been doused in Vicks. All right, you're up next, NATO. We've got Gets the Karkariki.
Good on Blake Green. And I was quite surprised when I read the articles today that that Todd Payton was. I thought you guys you said publicly at the end of July we don't want you anymore after this, so you should go. Can retire, those things as well. So I can't understand why they would then. When a team has come along and said we'll have you, because I've been told halfway through, and maybe it's because I'm a little bit sensitive this year because we got the arse, but it's the same thing. Like if another station had to come along, I was going to ask you at the end of the year, I'd be like, okay, I'd go. So I think good on him. Like he's got to try and get as many earning years as possible. So I think good on him and best of luck to him at the Knights.
Mate, I spoke to him and he said he wanted to play another year. So, like you said, good on him, man. He's going to go there, and
Yeah.
I'm Peyton's head. I don't think it was
Yeah.
like Toddy and him. Like they get along well.
Yeah.
They're good mates, and that.
It's not like Blake came here and didn't try. Like he gave everything at the
Well, we made the
Warriors,
semis.
Yeah. And now he's got a chance to come up. So good on him. Good
Oh,
on him.
mate, I
You
think
go, Blake Green.
I think they'll come out good. Newcastle.
Yeah.
To be honest, because they can still make the 8, but now now the young kid steps up. So hey,
Yeah.
let's get all eyes
But
on him now. It's
I'm
happened.
also very pleased because this is the end of like. It was I was trying to play that fantasy league. It just got too annoying. Couldn't find out where anyone was.
Yeah, I think Cameron George earlier today, before all the noise came out about Phil. You know what? Listen to
Did
the
he do
interview
great
that I
things at
do.
Penrith?
We'll play we'll play that out after we. But
Yeah.
listen to Cameron George, and you can tell that. And all that kind of noise is where their focus is at right now. Like it is one of many different, quickly and somewhat slowly and so what, but it doesn't seem to be their focus at all. And I would be highly popping out of everywhere and anywhere where he's like, what? Who? No, that didn't happen.
Yeah,
like,
the two.
It's got to a pretty crazy stage where he was kind of, yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to tell you too much. Moving through, IRobot. What a dumb name.
Mate, well, yeah. Well, I'm not creative. This really got me thinking. You know, they've been saying for years that robots going to take our jobs.
Yeah.
To keep social distancing.
Yeah.
And he goes along, puts the meals down, goes back. I'm just wondering how long until an iRobot, like we've seen in the Will Smith movie,
Yeah.
till they start getting more advanced technology, because we know the years are coming. And, mate,
So
I just don't know where it stops. Like, well, could they?
Well, true.
I
'Cause
don't know.
They've got sex robots in Japan.
There
Apparently.
you go, Mark.
No, I'm not. It's you know what, Blake? The thing that amazes me about it,
That's a
a
different robot.
waiter, a waiter robot is the It's close.
Nah.
Someone like because
That's
you
a
can
step.
order food now on an iPad, right? The only thing that's missing is something that brings the tray to you.
Can the iPad deliver you the food? Can it?
No, but we do have food deliveries.
It comes around.
In Japan, you order your food. There's
whole
no
robot
down onto the sushi train, and it kind of turns right up into your lap. So
Who's
it's
to
been
say?
around for the last
Who's to
15
say
years.
the food?
Well, this is where again,
Mate,
food preparation.
I'm blown
Right? What next?
Like, what if there's a I know what you mean.
Terminator
I can
2.
see what you think too. My thing is like, what if everything ends up robots are doing it all, and then one of those kids from Anonymous just hacks it.
Yeah, exactly.
and you go,
then we need.
Just all Russian botting.
I just feel like Blake, for you to have that thought. Oh, iRobot's next. It wouldn't be a waiter robot.
I never said it was next.
What? No, but that's what I'm saying. It worries me.
There's levels to it.
And that's what interests me. Like, I'm genuinely interested.
Sat down and thought.
I didn't think you had.
but
I
it got
think you had, mate.
because maybe
That's
the
kind of
kitchen
about it,
staff.
I kind of think.
Well, where we live in Te Atatū on Saturday, there was actually the National Robot Fighting Champs were on.
Oh,
Did you know
mate.
that in the
What
in the
next?
community? That's it. Robot Ronda Rousey.
Like, you always feel like so proud too when you make a point. Like, well, there you go. Prove a point. So now there's no UFC.
So now we've got the evolution. So we've got waiters to UFC fight.
Rubbish.
Climbing robots.
I wanted to bring this story to you, Nate, because I know you haven't heard it yet. There is rumours and big rumours about and Tuatara. So apparently, King Felix, never heard of him, and I'm not a massive baseball watcher. I'll be the first person to put my hand up and say.
This is about when the Twitter's been going crazy about, like, what about all these former major leaguers, like the top 50 of all time.
Was Manny Ramirez, who I have heard of.
Yes! Yes! Ramirez!
Go on, tell me more about Manny Ramirez. I've seen photos, and I know.
Can I say that one of
guys.
our daughters basically... Well, we got her a Dodgers one of those. Like my wife and I adore as hard. That's our team.
Yeah.
Manny was actually playing in left field in the first game we went to see together. If you can remember the attitude of, say, Norm Berryman, that used to play rugby in New Zealand.
Norm Berryman, yeah.
I'm not quite sure who it would be. He was a classic sort of like, cuz, don't worry about it, He'd make a huge hit on someone and then he'd miss one and get up and go, ha ha, and then just get into it again. But then would just have moments of such magic where you're like, that guy. Quite often with Norm that he probably would have been happier probably just playing in bare feet. And he Ramirez is kind of that, and he's this guy that they always do stuff about, like, it's just Manny being Manny. Look at him go. He's old, but he'd be amazing
Does he still
to
play?
have the Twitter. I don't. I mean, if he does, he's probably playing some Honduras league.
Definitely the kind of guy that you'd roll out with and
Yeah, man.
He would handle this league.
Oh yeah, such a great eye. Like when at his peak when he was at the Red Sox as well. I mean, he was an incredible. Had David Ortiz and those guys. Like he was a massive player. Like when we got to see him in LA, he'd just been sort of thing, and he's just coming around and again goes to take a straight forward catch and it bounced off. And does this whole like one comes out and it's right to outfield, so he goes, I'm going to catch it behind my back.
So he's that kind of guy.
Yeah, man. If we could get Manny.
The NBA equivalent, if say an NBA player was being brought down to play.
One like maybe Steven Adams-ish, but just more for the sake of. Just kind of seems quite natural.
But in terms of star power,
star power. A top 5 Major League Baseball player.
Really?
Wow. Oh yeah, and he would be in the last 20 years. Like anyone that has watched any. Yeah, more so than King Felix.
Okay, well, let me throw this at you then. Let's say, for instance, we got someone like a Karl Malone playing down here now.
Yeah.
Would that be 5 in the league?
Or maybe someone who's actually just finished a little bit.
Okay.
More closer to that as well. But no. Like someone who's maybe, because Karl Malone would be too old.
Okay.
Yeah.
NBA equivalent to
he was quite Shaq. He was quite Shaquille O'Neal-esque. He was quite a physically strong. But he was, still quite big. Could drill it over a hill and was fun.
So what? I don't know.
Outfielder.
Do we have to pay him a lot? Like he?
So I think a lot of them are just like, hey, that looks kind of fun. I want an excuse to go down.
He
to
sounds
New
like
Zealand.
it's.
And it's like, he would be the fit. I'm
Yeah.
thinking, yep, that guy there would be the fit.
Every home game now?
When it's Manny, hell yes.
Really?
Yeah. The out left field at Dodger Stadium, they just with Manny things and that. So he's
Wowza.
he's a massive
Man,
star.
this is
massive,
massive.
massive star.
This is massive.
Yeah.
Well done.
I'm coming.
You're coming. All right, then. When we come back, we talk to the man, the CEO of the Warriors, and ask him what the hell's going on over there.
You really cried.
All right. You're at Mount Smart. That looks like the Mount Smart offices, Cameron.
I am.
I've been in that office before. It's a
I don't know about that. I'm spending a lot of time here. So anyway, it is what it is.
Yeah. No, you got plenty to go through. If you could list off some of the things that have happened this month, which were not a part of your plan.
Look, I certainly is twofold. One is getting advice that a couple of our players aren't allowed back into New Zealand. As it stands now with the restrictions in place, which is I understand that. So we've got to work through that process. Also, leaving due to exemptions not being provided to to the families. News for us and tough for the boys as well. So there's some pretty big news come our way that was really disappointing on behalf of the families and the. At the end of the day, it is what it is, and we just have to sort of work through it, and that's what we're doing.
Is it were thrown your way that you weren't expecting this month?
Oh, look, there's a number of other. You asked me what are the two things that come my way that I wasn't expecting.
That's cool.
From all intents and purposes, from the minute that we made the decision to go back in April. To come to Australia, it was always intended and understood that exemptions would be provided to the family. A ball that didn't arrive, and certainly when I get two of your players that lived in New Zealand for a period of time aren't allowed back in, was devastating. I'm sure you're going to touch on.
Yeah, let's start with Todd Payten because for me. All of a sudden, when he said he was not going to take the job, all of a sudden I was like, oh man, he's probably perfect for the job. When something happens where you can't have them, and then all of a sudden they seem so much like a better choice. Was he always, I guess, in the mix before Kearney left?
He's always demonstrated really good leadership qualities, essentials. He's been an assistant coach at a number of organisations, which have given him really good experience. And as an assistant coach, a head coach, and that opportunity arose here, and due to those personal circumstances, it's just not the right time for him to look long term. Understand what they are. It's quite understandable, and I respect that.
It seemed a bit messy when he and this is obviously just media speculation. It seemed messy that he gave hey, I'll do it live because there was a couple of things that had changed. As the CEO, you've literally got to take a man for his word, right? That this is the case, and this is why he's turned it down.
Yeah, everyone's going to have a view on what's unfolded. I know how we've managed it and so on. Todd felt that was, promote his decision, and it's done. It is what it is now. We just have to move on. So the reality is, I really respect his family, and the one thing I do know about where we're at now, these things and pop up and challenges are thrown at you. You just got to draw a line and move on, and that's exactly what I've done.
Down the job, messed up your plan?
Oh, look,
or did you have a couple of 7?
Oh, look, obviously we spoke to he, as I said, keeps saying that for his own personal reasons, which is not the first time this has happened.
Yeah.
The timing sometimes ain't right. So you just, okay, that's fine. You accept. That's exactly what we're doing.
But you're allowed. You've now. Who are you naming as the next head coach? Or who are you chasing?
No one. We're certainly going through the process at our speed.
Yeah.
What I want to say, Mark, is I think, and this is such a popular following, and your show's going from strength to strength to strength with the sporting. What we need to understand right now is we're in a very, very COVID-19, like everyone else in the world. We have been torn apart, and we have our team and our in Australia carrying out the normal duties of what we're here to do. We have another team of staff carrying out their normal day-to-day roles, circumstances, and it's been unfortunate, sad, and very difficult, but that's just a part of the world at the moment. But I got told last week or the week before that back into the country that live here. So straight away, you've got to understand the challenges of people, the restrictions that exist. I've been and tried to understand why they can't, what the future holds, all that sort of stuff. Even the experts can't tell me what's in the pipeline. So under those circumstances, when we're trying to find a head coach, I can go and employ Johnny Bloggs today, but we don't know when Johnny Bloggs can ever come to New Zealand. We don't know whether half of our team can get back into New Zealand. We have right now, coach aside, in respect to what our club's going to look like when I get back into the country. We're going to have 2 groups of players, one in Australia, one in New Zealand. Open by Christmas, what does that mean for our club? Commercial elements to our business. What does it mean for the next season in terms of home games and away games? Do we need to get exemptions again? There are so many balls in the air, and everyone's sweating on a coach. Employ an external person. We don't know whether we can't given to us. So there's a really there's a really big hurdle there for us right now. I can go and employ Johnny. He mightn't be here for 6 months.
Yeah. Don't go and hire him first. Johnny Vlogs, but
No, Johnny's quite a popular person. He gets raised a lot here. We live in at the moment, but so we could possibly sign a coach if we feel like we've got the right person. How do we get him here? What do we do? What next year looks like?
What is the ball then that is up in the air right now that you think? I mean, that makes a lot of sense when you say it like that. Like, fuck, there's so much stuff being juggled. What ball is most important?
I need to get our players back into New Zealand and make sure they got the support for the remainder of the season, along with the staff that are over there. Mate, they're amazing. Second to that is planning for plans for A, B, and C scenarios. And, you know, December ain't the normal.
No.
You know, we've got experts that can't even tell us the lockdown. So, you know, New South Wales probably aren't far behind them. We don't know. The NRL don't even know whether the state of origin is going to be in Adelaide or New Zealand or Queensland. So when you don't know what your future holds, I'm not quite sure and start employing all these people. I'd rather have clarity on that and understand. If we're based in Australia again next year, we've got to be much better planned for it. So on. So it's a real scenario. Now, if we're based in Australia next year, that's going to be suited to that scenario. If we go and talk to Johnny Bloggs again and we say, move your family here, and then all of a sudden he with the team, his family aren't settled here. So it's a really, really difficult scenario. Club or another business, I would say clarity on those big decisions and big matters before you actually go and put executive people into those roles. People.
So you're getting no reassurance from the NRL and Volanders with it, just with the professionals who work within the, I guess, in the tease when it comes to viruses and how it's all going to look in the next year. They've got no idea either.
No, that's right. And you know, some advice. He said, I can't give it to you. I thought, well, shit, I'm in a bit of a. If you can't give it to me, I'm not sure who can.
Yeah.
And to us, this is the world. This is in so many businesses, but when everyone's into us about what I do know is we've got plenty of good staff internally that will get us through the pre-season and off-season. That's easy. You know, that's training, recruitment, of football-related activity in the pre and off-season and pre-season. We've got staff to cater for that.
Yeah.
No problem cater for that. But until we clear up a few other matters, we're just going to take our time. Not to say that if we did settle on the right person in the next week or two, come on board under the circumstances, you know, we would make an appointment.
Yeah. Well, I guess you've got a couple of people who you've got your eye on, but until things, then you'd be holding back from announcing too much. You don't need to announce shit anyway anymore because they have their finger on the pulse, releasing the fact that the Walker brothers are the new coaches. It's all done for you now.
No, it's all done for us now, and you know, that's the landscape we live in.
It's great. It's great that they're chatting about it or talking about it and blowing up over stories that aren't even real. It means that there's an engaged fan base and people are hungry for talk.
Yeah, and look, I suppose that's one way of looking at it. What we're doing, and you know, we've just got to sensibly work through it. We'll push the button.
Did you push the button on Blake Green, or was that his choice completely? Because it just seemed to make a lot of sense considering, it made sense for Newcastle, and I guess it makes sense for Blake because then he gets, well, I guess, look elsewhere, but it didn't make sense for me as a Warriors.
That's a good point to raise. Blake was advised. I'm just trying to think of the time frames, Mark, but in recent times anyway, that he wanted. We're in rugby league, and these decisions are always made about popular, and Greeny's just such a champion bloke. He and his family were just really good to have around the club. There's no doubt about that in my own mind. For the future, and Greeny was advised that next year we sort of to focus on, and as a result, you as a player that they start looking for longer term opportunities and so forth. In the circumstances, he had an option and press his claims for longer term opportunities, and the way we looked at it is, do we hold him here and for him, which isn't fair for him and his family, but equally we've got a fantastic young kid coming. Now, if Greeny was still here, as you would have seen, being an avid Warriors fan, myself, how many times before we play a game of footy before Chanel gets to start. I felt that with 8 games to go, that this to develop into a NRL consistent player and be back of getting this experience this year. And I think without a doubt, it's the best way to look at it. Sitting behind him as well. So there's opportunities to utilise some of these inexperienced in the tough circumstances we're all living through at the moment. And there's a number of other players, circumstances next year. Look at Jermaine Tunua-Brown. You wouldn't have well, but because of our circumstances, he's had to play a lot more, and he's going to be better for it. Eli Katoa, it's a development because of the circumstances, and they're doing an amazing job of winning some footy games. And when you look at whether Greeny level, we all would love Greeny to stay forever and ever play till he's 60, but that's not going to happen. By letting him go, we're giving our younger kids an opportunity to get experience that'll be really this club.
I don't know if Greeny won't play till he's 60. I know that. I've seen him in one of those tanks the other day in a little pair of Speedos. I reckon he's good for at least 40.
If you ask him,
yeah,
he'll be at least 45 playing NRL.
Yeah.
He's competitive in his nature. He thinks, and he, look, I can't speak highly enough of Greeny and their family and what they did around this club. But it's like anything. You need to move forward. This is never personal about stuff. It's just purely footy, and that's the world we live in.
Because you're a personable guy, you get on well with the players and the relationships. But tell me about the relationship you've got with fan. He's the best type of owner you want. He's a passionate guy. If this shit isn't going to roll, I'm gonna make some changes, kind of thing. But in your role as CEO, how not dangerous or difficult it could be, but just containing and making sure the football, I don't know how to put this into words, isn't blurred by his passion and what he wants to do and how he wants dealing with Robbo. And I think it was him that even said that Green wasn't part of your future plans, and also the fact that Stephen Kearney's didn't have the right temperament. So I would imagine that would be difficult as a CEO, having an owner going chirping. And don't get me wrong, as a local owner who's really passionate about the club.
Yeah, look,
Shit.
And I enjoy every conversation with him.
No wonder you delayed this call. That was him, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't actually. The man that looks after is Rob Crute.
Oh.
Who I speak to 4 times. Three of us are so transparent and we communicate so much. Nothing's. We work so well together. We're inspired by each other. We're in the future. We know where we're going. We know what we want. And collectively, we throw scenarios around day in, day out. That when we do push the button on decisions, they're not a shot from the hip, so to speak. Robbo, mate, we should embrace the man that we have owning this club. He is, without a doubt, a considerate, passionate person. Person that will do one thing, say one thing, do another. He's not a person that would go. I trust him with my life in what he's here to. New Zealand proud. He's here to, he's here to do so much rugby league. That at the end of the day, he'll do what he has to do to. And none of that comes easy. Sometimes, we make decisions that aren't popular. That's life, but that's what he owns a footy club for, because he's going to build it with good people around him. And the pain, we're in some dark spaces at the moment, but so's the world. I'm not sure that people can expect at the moment.
You know what it is, though, right? Like, people are looking for a distraction. And when things don't look like they have all fallen into place, and you Jesus Christ himself as the coach, and you haven't managed to sign all his disciples as part, you know what I mean? Like, it becomes where people turn their heat to rather than the logical stuff. Like, and that's what I've learned from having a chat with where people's lives actually matter in terms of getting back into the country. Their loved ones who are out there playing for the club. You've kind of put it in perspective with and allow us to get day by day until we can have a little bit more solidarity in what's going on.
And that's where Mark has been outstanding in the background. There's a believe, and the same with Rob Crute. Rob, he's managing director and chairman of the club. He's an amazing human being. He's caring. He's sensible in the manner in which he conducts himself. With Mark and I can't speak the synergy between Mark and Rob and the benefit it's going to give this club over time. Mark, is that whilst we're going through all this bullshit, hard decisions, and people think that because we're making those hard decisions, we're inconsiderate, we're ruthless. And not one of us enjoyed doing it, but we also have an obligation to come back to your Steve Kearney decision and your Blake Green decision and so on and so on. We can't forget about the future. We can't. Well, that's it. We can not do anything. Comes around and people are going to look at us again and say, well, hopefully we get better results this year, but last year, so therefore we've got to wear it this year. So we've still got to move on the future, and the balance between through all the hurdles and being prepared for next year. No one. Melbourne have just moved to the Sunshine Coast in a state. Every other club.
In such a tight competition, man, like little wee disruptions.
Our boys sitting 12th. Amazing effort, what's going on. it is an amazing effort. I don't care all around the world in rugby league saying, doesn't matter if they don't win a game this year. It's possible. We're training our asses off. We're working our asses off to win for our fans. Doing so bloody good under the circumstances. Robbo's doing his bit. Rob's doing his bit. Me and the staff are doing their bit. But the club's ripped in 3 different ways because of COVID-19. Lesser as the season gets on because we feel like we're a little bit homeless at the moment in Australia. Half of them will come back. The other half will stay. We've got our guys here that can't sell tickets, memberships, sponsorships, anything. I calculated yesterday that if the Australian boys come back under season, and they do their week work where they do fourth, then they go on holidays for a period of time, then they come back for pre-season, then they go on their Christmas break. 56 days of isolation before Christmas if they decide to come back, go back home to Australia.
That's ridiculous.
It's 4 lots of 14 days. So say to me at the end of the season, mate, do I have to come back or can I stay? Seriously, we've got a heap of Aussies. Then we've got Eli Katara and Salatino, which they can't get back in the country on visas.
Yeah.
It is what it is, mate.
It is what it is. All right, you promised me that next time you're and look at the view. I'm just looking out at the man's mowing the lawns, but wish you all the very and soon. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, buddy.
The Marc Peard Podcast.
All right.
So my 3 takeaways with life.
Trusting Robbo with your life.
Number 2, don't worry about the coaching yet. There's a whole lot of other stuff to sort out. Number 3 takeaway is that in blogs. There you go.
I couldn't understand. Yeah,
Johnny Blogs.
I want to know what his coach.
Wait, is it a part of Australia thing? Like, is he? So they've got Johnny Blogs there, and then Joe Blow where you were.
Yeah, I could be. I've always known as Joe Blow, but
Yeah.
Johnny Blow. I don't know, more of a name than Joe Blow.
Johnny Blogs sounds like a DJ.
With a Z on the end, Johnny Blogs.
Yeah, Johnny Blogs. A fight at Johnny Blogs.
Ace, your takeaways from Cameron George?
Listen to that. It sounds like it's just going to get harder. Okay, the coach, like Nate just said, don't worry about the coach.
Yeah, don't worry about the coach. We've got other things to sort.
If the boys do come back, but I don't reckon half of them will want to come back, and they'll stay in Australia. Like, when you interview, try and talk to someone, like look them in the eyes in the camera, you kept looking that way. It was real. Just take it. Just some pointers for your interviews.
Thank you. Basically what happens is when you do focused in on YouTube right now, is turned back on me. So I'm actually talking to Cameron through that camera. That's a little inside.
Oh, that's what it is. Okay,
I really didn't want to have to say, but thanks, Ash.
No, but like I said, man. To come,
do you think it's precarious? Do you think that if look, vaccine out enough that can make things safe?
Sorry, Nate. Sorry, so I got to stop you. Precarious.
Precarious.
Yeah. Meaning. Okay.
But look, I'm teetering on the edge. Whoa, bit of that there as well.
Great
for the Warriors, I mean, like if it doesn't progress fast enough, and you won't get enough Australians, and that means another year in Australia for the Warriors, maybe.
It does, man, and I don't know what's going to be honest. Like,
if you've got 1 year on their contract or something like that, like, and that year might not be a full year, or
Tohu Harris or maybe a Roger, one of the bigger names Roger's over there this whole year without his family.
What if
does he have to do that again?
we go, hey, you know, our new Pacifica Super Rugby team's going to be based in South Auckland. We're going to play full work for that.
No.
He wants to live in New Zealand, but if he wants to live in
it.
Australia, that's such a problem here for the Warriors too, because when you're a bit...
You know, there's so many, but I know that a lot of them have Aussie passports.
Yes.
And that live there already and that are already over there. So
why would you come back?
Yeah, I don't think they're going to come back. And then it'll be interesting to see who they get as coach if they are over there for the year.
Don't worry about the coach,
Sorry.
mate.
Johnny Blogs, Robbo Trust Life.
All right, time to pull up the Hinaki. Just get my phone. What have I got?
Someone give me a spray.
Someone give you a spray. We got Robbie. Robbie should have done a deal and traded Blake Green for Mason Lennor.
Agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Mason Lee player.
They need
Ever grace
trades.
the Warriors.
Get trades.
Rosie says, let's learn how to fix robots.
See that? No, I know what she means, because it was like you were saying, but what jobs are going to be fixing robots?
I love that.
Like that, okay.
Thank you, Rosie, and thank you, Nate, for the translation.
Went straight past.
I know, so I was angling to try and
Oh,
get him
you
to
do need
announce
the coach.
an inside
Yeah.
word on the coach.
Yeah.
But don't worry about the coach. There's plenty more to deal with. Thanks, Robbie. Thanks for reminding me. Aiden says, great chat. Don't envy all those balls he has to juggle.
Yeah.
Brown will be named Warriors coach in the coming days.
Well, hang on, Danny Weedler.
From-
Danny Weedler, like when he's not writing a story about Sonny Bill Williams has been seen walking. No, it's that guy, Chris Gary. So, with Nick Politis. Basically, that's just everything he says when he's on NRL.
Thank you to my guy, James Taitamu, who has come in with precarious. Precarious? Precarious. Precarious. Precarious.
That's the sound of a city roof.
Adjective, not securely
Adjective.
held in a position.
Yes.
Dangerous. A precarious ladder dependent on a chance. Uncertain he made precarious living as a painter.
Stuck on the
I'm
camera.
kind of stuck.
Oh, you're frozen.
Yeah, I don't know. Can't go and do.
That's all right.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, you know what? That'd be us if we were in a wax museum. That's and
Very pale. It could be the
Different
lighting,
rabbits.
but I do like the whiteness on the teeth.
yeah, it's good. Oh, it's beautiful.
All right.
Oh, shit,
We're
we're
back.
moving again.
Ka kite anō. We will. We'll see you next week. Wait to reveal.
Manny
but I'll
Ramirez.
have to.
Oh.
That's an easy get. He's going to be a local. He's going to be one of the
Manny.
locals. Manny. Chua-hua-ya.
Can you leave us with a nerds?
It'd be rude not to.
Let's get it, get it, get it!